body's nationality, the RA itself provides that determination of its own curriculum shall be with the consultation of the Secretary of the Department of Education, and under Section 4 thereof, the supervision and regulation of the Department of Education still will be in place.
Yes, and to that point, ano ba ang kinatatakutan natin? So just because a school is controlled by a foreign entity, meron naman kayong standard clause that regulation and supervision will be by the DepEd. So ano kinatatakutan natin, hindi po ba? So kung kayo ay panatag na ginagawa ninyo ang inyong trabaho bilang regulator, my next question is for, thank you for that, Chancellor Camacho. My next question is for DepEd. Earlier, I asked a question on the position of DepEd. And, para lang malinaw, okay, for context, ito ang position ng DepEd. And it had to do with the control and administration of educational institutions. So, para malinaw, babasahin ko kung ano yung sa tingin kong relevant. So, I quote, "The phrase, unless otherwise provided by law, and its underlying rationale could potentially serve as a gateway to expand the scope of control and administration over educational institutions, not solely by citizens of the Philippines, but by other entities as well." Kaya ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, na ang main issue ninyo is baka mapunta sa non-Filipinos ang control and administration of educational institutions. Tama? Okay. And I continue. And I quote, "In this light, the scope and limits of control and administration are put into question, including the processes defining who, what, and how education shall be administered. The most basic question is, will it allow foreign entities to teach? For this, the department strongly objects to this amendment." So yun po ang posisyon ng DepEd. Tama po?
Yes,
Okay, so,
Mr. Chair.
So doon tayo. So kaya ko na ito ng kanina. Sa sitwasyon ngayon sa Pilipinas, meron bang kahit na anong educational institution that is not controlled or administered by a non-Filipino? Yes or no lang po?
Yes.
Meron, di
Yes.
ba? So, halimbawa, British School of Manila. Pasensya na lang po. Kaya ko lang na naging halimbawa yun kasi guest natin sila kahapon. Tama.
British School Manila is owned by a Filipino foundation.
Okay, so at least na alam nyo na ngayon, kanina tinatanong ko,
Yes,
100% ba yan? Ngayon, maliwanag na 60-40.
Yes,
At inabanggit
Mr. Chair.
ko kanina, na bagamat may legislation, which would include Faith Academy and Everest, ngayon alam nyo na 60-40 din sila.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, babalik tayo sa BSM. Yung BSM, 60-40. However, based on the IRR of the legislation of the law creating BSM, there is a governing body. Tama?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Tinignan ko na ang council ng BSM. Tinignan ko na, inisa-isa ko na ang mukha nila. Silang lahat ay non-Filipino. Tama?
Mr. Chair, there is a Council of Trustees referred to, but I apologize, I don't know the specific membership.
I can give you photos of all of them, and you can see that they are not Filipinos. They're representatives of various embassies. Okay, but
Mr. Chair, from the SEC filing that we were able to retrieve, there are 3 Filipinos and 2 foreign nationals out of 5. Mr. Chair, we acknowledge that the screenshots provided by the Your Honor
okay.
reflect foreign nationals, appear to be foreign
yes,
nationals.
all right, okay. So, in short, merong ganon na sitwasyon. It would appear.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, for now, meron ba kayong naging problema whatsoever with the school? With the said school? At particularly with the concerns that you raised in this memo, national security, values, things like those.
Yep, Madam Chair, no problem.
Nope.
To my knowledge, and none have been reported, noting also that under the Republic Act, recognizing the school, they are placed under the supervision of the Department of Education.
That is correct. So, parang wala naman. Di ba? Parang, and it's a reputable school, baka namang, wala namang problema. So my point being, sa akin palagay, Mr. Chair, hindi ba dapat ninyong balikan ang inyong posisyon? Because clearly, there would be situations where control would not rest on a Filipino citizen, yet none of the issues that you raise here would actually arise. When in fact, ito pong situation ng school na yan, it's a 60-40 school. It's controlled by non-Filipinos. However, there's a legislation. It's actually a situation which is contemplated by RBH 7 paragraph 2. If you think about it. So, ito pong objection ninyo may actually not be consistent with existing schools. That's just my point, Mr. Chair. Baka kailangan ninyong balikan at pag-aralan pa ang inyong posisyon. Yan lang ang aking appeal dahil it's a strongly worded position. Nakasulat for this, the department strongly objects to this amendment. But as we speak, it would appear that there are exceptions. And ang tanong, kung meron ng exceptions, bakit? Bakit? Diba? So why accord, if it was deliberate, why accord that to a certain group, right? Or if it's not deliberate, baka naman pwede nyo pang pag-aralan pa ang ating posisyon. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair, sa DepEd, unless you want to say something else.
I would like to thank Your Honor for the discourse, and nothing prevents us from reviewing this, Mr. Chair. I would just respectfully like to place in context the case of British School. In at least in 2 provisions of its charter, it mandates that while they are, because I don't have verified information as to the Board of Trustees for the governing body's nationality, the RA itself provides that determination of its own curriculum shall be with the consultation of the Secretary of the Department of Education, and under Section 4 thereof, the supervision and regulation of the Department of Education still will be in place.
Yes, and
Mr. Chair.
to that point, ano ba ang kinatatakutan natin? So just because a school is controlled by a foreign entity, meron naman kayong standard clause that regulation and supervision will be by the DepEd. So ano kinatatakutan natin, hindi po ba? So kung kayo ay panatag na ginagawa ninyo ang inyong trabaho bilang regulators, tingin ko naman hindi kayo malalagpasan, di ba? At matagal na silang nag-ooperate at never silang nagkaroon ng problema. So sa tingin ko lang, again, I appeal na baka kailangan ninyong balikan ang inyong posisyon at kung babalikan ninyo at repasuhin at babaguhin, kami po ay bukas na tanggapin ang inyong revised position. Yusek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we are in agreement that provided there is sufficient regulation, that is actually the crux of our position, that we are just concerned, of course, in the possible eventuality that there would be a school established exempt from regulation. But given the context laid out, Your Honor, we will agree that subject to sufficient regulation, as long as the schools are subject to the regulation of the Department of Education, this may be possible.
Last question, Mr. Chair, for Attorney Abad. Yesterday, Attorney Dean Abad, yesterday I think I heard you say that we don't need to change the Constitution. The current laws are sufficient. Sinabi niyo yata yon kahapon, and I think you were referring to the Transnational Education Act. And I believe you said, bakit hindi na lang natin pag-eksperimentohan, subukan natin ito, it might work.
That is correct, Your Honor. I confirm having said that yesterday.
And I believe you were referring to so bringing in a foreign university, having a local partner, which obviously would require hiring foreign faculty.
Not necessarily hiring, Your Honor, but rather sharing.
No, but of course, in a situation where you want to bring in a foreign university, ang key dito syempre is faculty, hindi po ba?
Opo.
Bilang dean, nasubukan mo na ba mag-hire ng foreign faculty?
Hindi pa po.
Tanungin mo ako.
Naka-hire na ho kayo ng faculty na foreigner?
Yes. Department chair ako ng UP School of Economics taong 2012 hanggang 2015.
How much did you pay?
And I will tell you, in 1991, I was a graduate student of the same school. I had students from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from Thailand, from the US. It was a very international class. By the time I was department chair in the same school, there were no more foreign students. So what happened? In the early 1990s, I think we were regionally competitive. But 20 years down the line, what happened? Our regional competitiveness just got eroded. Why? Well, because I guess the foreign universities partnered with other countries, and maybe the programs in other countries in the region maybe were more exciting or maybe more competitive or maybe more responsive. And so I decided as department chair, the way to globalize was to hire foreign faculty. I looked at the laws. They were tremendously difficult, but
Yes.
I went ahead and I was able to hire an American who actually had the theorem named after him. Ganun siya kagaling.
Wow.
So sobrang hirap Kasi kailangan mo ng alien employment permit at
Yes.
9G visa,
Yes, correct.
and they expire every 3 months, and they
Yes,
don't
correct.
expire on the same day.
Yes, correct.
We were at the DOLE, DFA, and Bureau of Immigration almost every week.
months. Yeah. Oh,
It's tremendously difficult. I attempted to hire 2 more, so for a total of 4. In 2.5 years, we just almost gave up. But I was successful in hiring 2 permanent, na planti.
Kung meron man kayong mga komento tungkol sa mga isyong ito, maaari kayong magbigay ng mga reaksyon sa comment section na makikita sa ibaba ng bidyong ito. Maraming salamat, at kung ikaw ay interesado ng mga bidyong tulad nito, mangyaring suportahan ang channel na ito sa pamamagitan ng pagpindot ng like, pag-share ng mga video, at kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na ito, please subscribe sa channel na ito at pindutin ang notification bell at piliin ang all upang maabisuhan ka para sa mga paparating pang mga videos.